All right, you guys ready to get started? Yeah, got a good energy crew here tonight. I can feel it already. All right, let's just take a second here and settle in, kind of let go of your day, kind of breathe out any tension that's left over from coming here, which there's always some out there for some reason. Kind of shift into the present moment. Feel that energy that's in the room right now. It's got some really good energy in here. And we're going to take it to another level today. And then set your intention. Why are you here? What is it you want to get out of this meeting today? It can be anything, and then just let it go. Let's see what happens. So who's new to the Billionaires Club? Oh, look at that. Almost half.
Hey, welcome, everybody.
Usually it's about a third or so on every meeting. So nice going, guys. Thanks for coming out. Who's new to the law of attraction itself? Usually a couple. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Yep. Okay, excellent. Okay, so if you have questions, you participate. Okay, this is a totally participatory group. We've got some things we're going to talk about, but this is an open forum. You guys all have stuff to add to the conversation, and we'll lead the law of attraction bits and what we're going to talk about today. You'll find that a lot of this is very intuitive. Like you'll feel it right here, and you just may not have been taught the mechanics, and that's what we're here to do. So there are no wrong answer or not wrong questions. And the only wrong question is the one that doesn't get asked. So ask the question, because when we're in a format like this, everybody's kind of on the same, what we say, vibration, same frequency. What that means is that we have a lot of the same questions and a lot of the same experiences. So if you ask a question, you may think, well, I'm the only one who wants to know about this thing. You might find that 5 or 6 other people actually wanted to know that same answer. So don't hold back, okay? That's what makes this the most fun. In fact, we've changed the format. It's about 4 or 5 months ago, where I would write a lot more stuff because I like to write workshops. That's what we do for a living. But we've kind of gone off script. We got kind of a foundation, what we're going to talk about, basics, but then we go where you want to go. So we'll talk about what you guys want to talk about today. Okay? So I'm Kevin Young. I'm a partner with my lovely wife Suzanne in personal success programs. We do coaching and training and speaking around the law of attraction, higher consciousness, self-empowerment. We're here to be the catalyst for change for you guys, for whatever it is that you want. Our third in command, Mimi, is we don't see her much. She's off being a professional speaker and coach, somebody who lives the law of attraction. If you get a chance, look up Mimi Brown on Facebook. You want to be friends with her. She's powerful.
And you know why she's so busy? Because when she first started coming here, she encouraged us to start this, take it over. She attracted so much, it's keeping her busy.
Yeah,
but it works.
She's on TV on every Friday, and she's just doing
amazing.
Great. And then we got our support staff, of whom I think we have 3 people here. We got Deb, who was at the table, and Kathy at the table, and then who else? Was that
Deborah?
it?
Oh,
Yeah, Deborah and Kathy.
Table. Okay.
Yeah, we're back there. So this is all volunteer operation, so we couldn't do this without these guys. We've got about a half a dozen people who support us. So I want to give those guys a round of applause so they can hear it. That's for you, Deb and Kathy. Nice job.
Thank you out there.
So the mission of the Billionaires Club, we created as a place for like-minded people to gather and share experiences and wisdom around the law of attraction. It's a universal law. It's like gravity. It's just built into the universe. So we're here to discuss that and everything that goes with it, which is pretty much everything. All of consciousness, all of energy, all of creation, all responds to this law of attraction. So we'll talk about how all that fits together here today. Our vision is to build a community of naturally influential, self-empowered, self-responsible leaders to help return this Metro Detroit area to a higher vibrational level, a world-class status. This is where it used to be before the auto industry kind of crashed. But you guys are those leaders, and we are so thankful that you're here leading yourselves. You're here to absorb this information, to become better versions of yourselves, to increase your vibration, as we like to say. When you do that, just by doing that, by taking care of yourself, you're emanating it in a stronger way. This is an exponential scale of power. So the higher you are up on the scale, not only does your life get better, but you radiate a higher energy. And you influence the people around you to come up who are ready. So it doesn't take a whole lot of people to influence a whole lot of people. Okay, so That's your job.
If you're at your first meeting and you didn't grab one of these, we have a really small version of that emotional scale out there. They're out there, and you can have something to look at if you want
Does
to.
anybody need one of those or something to write on?
Who needs one?
Hey,
And
Deb or Kathy, could you bring some emotional scale cards and some writing stuff, please?
Or Deborah.
Deborah?
One of you. There she comes.
All right.
Something to write on the little cards. They're helpful. Anybody? Raise your hand, and then Deborah.
Just raise your hand if you need an emotional scale card. Did you bring those too, Deb? Yeah, she'll get the cards also.
If you need a pen, that's good too.
We got everything here.
Well, not everything, but. Kathy's coming up. Yeah, raise your hand if you want one of the little cards. She's coming up with those.
These are just handy to refer to. We'll talk about what this means here in a second. That way you don't have to squint and look up here at this.
Oh, you might need to
chart.
squint to look at the little tiny print, but.
That's true. So we only have really one rule, and it's just more of a suggestion than anything, and that is no open solicitation of your business or your interests on the website or the email or anything. We've got just over 1,500 members now, so we can't open the door to that kind of thing. And we don't promote our stuff either. Okay, we do coaching and training, but we don't hand out our brochures because we want this to be a safe, comfortable place for you guys to come and do only this thing, which is understand, learn law of attraction, higher consciousness, and to talk to each other. So even though we don't want you to come with all your brochures and hand them around to everybody, we do want you guys to talk to each other. These are the people you want to do business with. These are the people you want to have as your friends because we're on the same vibrational page, right? Everybody's learning to become self-responsible. That's what law of attraction is about. Not about blame or criticism. It's about understanding and unity up here at the top. So get to know people. If somebody lights up for you in the room after we're done here, there's open networking at 8, talk to them. Just have fun, because that's what this is about, okay? And also we've got a Facebook page. I fail to mention that most of the time. Our Facebook administrator, Sherry, is not here today. She lives actually quite a long ways away, so she's mostly on the Facebook page itself. But if you want to be on that page, get connected, then just shoot one of us an email, or on the meetup site, you can send us a message. Or if you're friends, we love to be friends on Facebook. Look us up and friend us, and we'll hook you into the page. It's a safe place to communicate because nobody can get into the group unless they're part of this group. So you don't have to worry about the riffraff out there, jumping into our private group. So cell phones, please, a little housekeeping here. Turn your cell phone off or put it on quiet mode, vibrate mode, happy mode, whatever you want to call it. We do record the meetings. The audio recording is going on as we speak. So Suzanne will be running around with the microphone. If you got questions, you want to participate, we prefer that you wait till she gets there just so it picks up on the recording. If you're concerned about being on a recording, then just say so. We'll edit you out.
And when I do come up to you, you can hold the microphone if you want, but please hold it close to your mouth because if you hold it down here, it doesn't record. So it's really helpful. And then also everybody in the room can hear. And I know it's not easy to have this thing in your face because I've seen people go, no. But go ahead, give it a try. And then we can get it. Everybody can hear, and it makes it a lot easier.
We have washed it, so it's clean. So we have our own YouTube channel, our business, and so we put these recordings up on YouTube. Usually about a week afterwards. So if you miss a meeting or you just want to go back, something lit up for you but you can't remember, you couldn't write it down, you can go back and listen to the recording. It's just on a free YouTube channel. And all that information, by the way, if you go to the meetup site where you guys RSVP'd, it's thebclub.me, it's on those little red cards. If you go there on the main site, up at the top, the first menu is home, the next one over is pages, I believe. If you click on pages, there's all sorts of information, like the Facebook page, like what we're about, our mission statement, a bunch of resources. You guys can get a lot of more information on law of attraction if you go there. And the YouTube channel pointer is up there as well. So that's where we keep it all. Coming up on March 25th, a week from Saturday, we're holding another potluck at our house in Novi. We've had a lot of fun with those. We've done 2 or 3 now, I think. A holiday one and New Year's Eve one. A lot of fun. So you just bring a dish. The information's on the website. It's the next event up. So if you want to come and hang out with us on a Saturday evening and bring some food and drink and have a good conversation, then we'd love to have you. No charge for that event, just bring something to eat. And then this month is our 3-year anniversary of running the Billionaires Club.
Woohoo.
How's that?
Yay.
That's pretty cool. This group has been around since, I think, 2009, and we joined it at that time, and it was about 600 members or so. But the meetings weren't going very well, and they're a small group, and the organizer just wasn't enjoying it, so she left, and when she left, we were members, and we just took it over at that time, and it was, I think, February or late
We
January.
did it because we just wanted to make some friends that were into law of attraction.
Yeah.
You know how you can't talk to your family or, oh, it's just me, right? So we just thought, well, why not try that? We'll make some friends.
Yeah, and
And it's been more than that.
oh,
Wonderful.
it's been so much fun. Like I said, we got 1,500 members now. You know, that's law of attraction. We didn't advertise it. Right? It just boom, it keeps growing, and that to me says it's a lot of people like you who want this information. And you're looking for a community, and that's what we were looking for. And law of attraction dumped it right in our laps, and it's brought all you guys to us and us to you. So that's how easy it can be to manifest everything you want. You just got to get in the vibration of it. So what are we going to do today? Well, we start off with some law of attraction success stories, and you can participate. We've got a couple that we'll just give you. It kind of tells you how law of attraction works, how something has happened in our lives where we've managed our energy, so to speak, our vibration, our thought processes, created a higher vibration, and then attracted something that matched without effort. And that's what law of attraction is about. It's not about moving stuff around physically. It's not about effort, although that's fun. It's about energy manipulation, and that's what we're doing with that.
And, you know, if you're really brand new to law of attraction, you've heard of the phrase, you don't know a lot of detail. Your thoughts are producing frequencies. You can't see them, just like they're frequencies of radio stations, but they're attractive in nature. And the thoughts that feel good, up on that emotional scale, the little card, when you think those thoughts, it's real high frequency, fast vibration. When it doesn't feel good, like way at the bottom, it's low. And it's always attracting identical frequency back to you in the form of more thoughts centered around that emotion. Well, that's it for a nutshell.
Yeah, it's really, law of attraction is ridiculously simple. Suzanne just did, you can tell it to you in 30 seconds. That's the whole thing. You're sending out vibration based on the thoughts that you're thinking. How you feel based on the scale is the frequency of the thought. This is what's coming back. It's just universe is just a big old mirror. That's all it does. It gives you back what you're sending out, and there are no exceptions. And there's nothing random in the universe.
If you look into the mirror, if you're frowning, it's not going to smile back at you. And this is just life. If it's feeling good, you're going to bring good feeling things to you and good thoughts. And if it's not feeling good, you bring that. And nobody does it on purpose, but once you become aware of the power you have, because you can pick your own thoughts, your life can totally change as ours did.
So we'll have some success stories, and we'll get into the main subject, which is tapping into your non-physical consciousness. We'll talk about what non-physicality even is, which is kind of a bizarre term in today's terminology. But when you really understand what non-physical means and how it ties into you and how you can tap into it, well, the sky is the limit. We are so supported as human beings. It's just ridiculous how supported we are. And then, like I said, Q&A is anytime. We'll coach you through things. If you have questions, you want to work through something and apply the law of attraction, then that's what we do, and so that's what we love to do. So that's all, like I said, it's interactive. And then we'll do a quick wrap-up, and then open networking, cookies, water, and then we'll kick you out. Any questions about what we're going to do here, why you're here? Are you all in the right place? You didn't try to go to the McDonald's down the street, right? Accidentally show up here? Well, there's no accidents. True. So, success stories. And like I said, this is, if something comes to your mind as we're talking about, something where you had an impulse, you followed it, you were in a positive state of mind, and you attracted something that matched without effort. That's what a law of attraction success story is. That's what we want you guys to walk away from knowing here when you leave, is that you can do this. All you got to do is manage your thoughts, your vibration, and you can have these success stories. So some of the biggest successes we've had are going on cruises with a group called Abraham Hicks. Has anybody heard of Abraham Hicks? Yeah, I know a lot of you guys have.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that.
This is One of the books they wrote, New York Times bestseller.
Ask and it is given. Abraham Hicks is sort of the modern-day teachers of law of attraction. They've been around 30-some years. They do workshops worldwide, and they do 2 or 3 cruises every year. And we've just become really addicted to this, so we don't go anywhere else except with the Abraham Hicks people on cruises, because there's typically 800 or 900 people on the cruise ship out of the 2,000 to 3,000 people who do what we're doing here in this room, who follow the same material. They get involved. The workshops themselves is probably too much to get into right now, but they teach the law of attraction through Esther Hicks. And you get to ask questions, similar even to this kind of format. And you meet some of the coolest people on the planet on these ships, because they come from all over the world. Some very successful people, most of them very happy. And we get very inspired when we do these. Well, we just got back from one on Monday. There's a 10-day cruise to the Caribbean, which was phenomenal. It was just...
I can't stop smiling. It was so much fun.
It's not just the Caribbean, because the Caribbean, of course, obviously is a beautiful place. But it rained, I think, probably 6 or 7.
First 3 or 4 days, rainy,
Yeah.
swells, 7-foot swells, and people were walking like this. I mean, you really felt like you were drunk, and you weren't. You were just hanging on to handlebars. It was wild, but we just had an amazing time.
The neat thing about that is everything always works out for us. Okay, that's a phrase you can take to the bank. Everything is always working out for you. Everything is always working out for you. You just got to look for it, right? It's always there. So 7, 6, 5 days of raininess or whatever it was forced us to be inside with people, right? So we got to know people better that we wouldn't maybe have been out sitting in the sun. We had breakfast, lunch, and dinner with people. I attracted like 6 coaching conversations, which one of the things I love to do on these cruises, because I'm a coach, among other things, is I love coaching sessions, because that's where I get my energy feeds. One of the things. Doing this is another. I get into a state, I get into almost a channeling state where I'm wide open to this non-physical that we're going to talk about today, and it flows through me, and people then attract what they need through me, through the words, through the conversation, through the questions, the reflection, and so forth. And I feel fantastic, and they have breakthroughs. Now, I always feel up here when I'm done with one of those conversations. And so these are the people that, if I could have 600 Abraham clients, I would definitely have those. So they just show up. They'll sit right across. I even had one lady at breakfast. I was sitting there just doing some writing, and she just sat down at my table. It's just me and her. And she just started telling me her life story.
I was sleeping in.
We just started talking. And she had a major breakthrough. I just kind of switched into the coaching mode because it felt like the right thing. And it's just that's called co-creation. And that's what we're all here to do. It's co-creating with each other. Getting into the zone, into your own energy field by following your passion, your purpose, stepping into that, being it, and then those people just show up to play with you at that level. And then you bring your gifts to them, they bring their gifts to you, and you create magical experiences.
If you love what you do, it's just so much easier to bring the results to you. If you're doing something because you're being able to pay the bills and it's a job for now, that's cool. It's nice to pay bills. But when you really are in love with what you do, it's amazing how your life can be so full of abundance, not just money, but friends and everything, because you're just lighting up. You're lighting up with that loving energy, and people are drawn to that. They want to be around people like that.
It was, when I think of some of the energy shifts that occurred, not only in the workshops, it's just, I'm still like I can even feel it right now. There were several people that we even interacted with who were, I don't know if you ever met somebody when you walk into a room and the room is like lighter because they're in there. We met several of those kind of people and hung out with them. So every time you were around them, they were already up here radiating this energy, and you can't help but go up there and stay there and play with them at that level. And it changes your physiology. It changes who you are. And that's what we want for you guys, too, is to keep doing that kind of work. Push yourself so that you're not down here as often. Allow yourself to float up. Meditate like we did earlier today. Meditation is a great way to stop the thoughts, because the only reason we're down here on the scale is because we're thinking ourselves down. Nobody ends up down here by accident, right?
Well, you think it's accident because you're not paying attention that you're thinking thoughts that don't feel good. Because we get habits going, and you numb your emotions, and you don't realize you were thinking that way until you attract something lousy, and they go, oh, what was I thinking?
So several of the things, besides attracting the coaching clients, so one of the things that I have done for a number of these cruises now is I'll set my intention, like I asked you guys to do at the beginning of this workshop, this meeting here. What do you want? What do you want? So for me, I want to meet people, and I want to meet people that I can have a coaching interaction with or an uplifting conversation, or learn something from. I always set that intention before the cruise. So I got a half a dozen of them just showed up that every one of them were off the charts good. In fact, one of them called us last night at dinner, and she just was going on and on and on about the breakthrough. She in one conversation, she talked about severe abuse as a 3-year-old that she had had. Like, she went so deep so quickly because the energy field was available for her. Not just because of me. I mean, that's what I do as a coach, but because she was ready for it. And she called, she's had this breakthrough with men. Now she's already started to talk to men. She couldn't talk to men. All that's possible when you get into this energy field and hold it for a bit. You provide it for somebody else, they provide it for you. And now she's going to be a coaching client. I wasn't looking for coaching clients. I was just looking to have a good conversation with people.
Setting your intention is really is key to manifesting what you want, and that just means thinking about what you really want to see happen this morning or this afternoon or whenever it is. What do you want to see happen? And go ahead and be selfish. Think exactly how you want it to happen. Why not? Let it feel good. I can give a really quick little success story. For our company, I do the networking, so I belong to this networking group. Does anyone belong to a networking group where you do these 1-minute commercials and things like that? And so what I do, and this works every time, so I might as well share it with you. Of course I love what we do. And so I start practicing my commercial when I'm driving to the meeting, and I have my little phone time, and they're only 1 minute, but before you know it, as you practice it, you start getting in the flow, and then you start feeling good, because obviously your little thing that you're going to talk about is something that you love about your business. And so today, we had just gotten back from the cruise. I didn't have a plan. I started driving. What can I talk about? And I came up with a little thought. And one of the things that I shared was who I'm looking for today, because it's always nice to state what you're looking for. I was looking for someone who'd experienced the loss of a loved one, but it had been many years, maybe 5-6 years, and they were still struggling to move forward. I had no idea, of course, if anyone in the room was going to have had that experience, but when it was over, this guy came up to me. He was brand new to our group. I didn't know him. He said, I really want to talk to you. My wife lost her brother about 5 years ago, and it's still difficult. So I set my intention to just say something when I was driving that would just maybe help someone, anyone. And this guy showed up. And that's just simply how it can work as you allow yourself to feel good in what you want to do that next moment, the next moment, the next moment.
And if you have deliberately set your intention for something, let it go, and then had it shown up?
Okay.
You want to share? One would be good.
The biggest one would be the amount of money I wanted to make per year. When I got the job offer, it was to the penny of what I put out there. So I probably should have put more out, but that's what this is about.
Yeah,
but I do it on a daily basis.
Oh, good for you.
I love that, and I love your point that I probably should have done more, because it's limitless. You get to say what you want. Why not? And I know when we first took this group over, and this other woman already named it the Billionaires Club, and we go, I don't know if we should call it that or not. And then we thought, well, hey, it'd be fun to be a billionaire. Let's just keep the name. So anyway, you get to say it.
Somebody else want to share a success story? Or you set an intention, let it go, and had something show up? Yeah. One more?
Nancy has one.
Nancy's a master manifester.
She's good at it.
I'm a personal trainer, and I specialize in fitness for older adults and exercise therapy. And today I attracted a client who has all sorts of ailments. He's 65. He plays hockey 3 days a week, but he's got problems with his arm, with his leg, with his knee. And so we sat down and talked about how we can fix, or hopefully fix, all of it. And I was just so excited. I said, you're my perfect client. You're the person I'm looking for. So,
yeah, there you go.
Good job.
That's one of the things we do a workshop called How to Easily Attract Clients, and you exactly described it. You set in, you figure out what would light you up as a client. If you got a business, what's the most fun clients? The ones that have money, the ones that you can help, right? The ones that are fun to work with, right? You just write that out. Just make a list and get into the energy field of it. Just feel it, feel into it, and you let it go. And as soon as you let it go, because when you don't let it go, then you start worrying about how, right? And you get down here, and then you push it away. Right? So when you decide what it is, what feels the best to you, and then you let it go, now you've given the universe complete latitude. Anything that's nearby that the universe can line up with the law of attraction will attract it to you. The universe takes the path of least resistance. That's the easiest way to get the thing that you've desired to you. It will take, as long as you're not in the way. And we're in the way when we're down here in worry and doubt and fear and anxiety and so
And
forth.
really, the reason we're in the way is when you're thinking thoughts, remember, that bring you that emotion of worry, that's a lower frequency. And it's always going to attract back to you more lower frequency thought forms in that emotion. All your dreams and desires, everything you want, feel good. That's high frequency. And they just won't ever come together because like attracts like. It's pretty much simple like that. So just pay attention to your emotions, and you'll see what you're going to be bringing to yourself, and change them if it doesn't feel good.
Any questions or comments on that so far? We're jumping into some deep stuff already, and we're going to get a lot deeper. Got a couple in the back there.
Oh, okay. I love
Suzanne
talking
loves
back
this
here.
because she gets to exercise.
Who had? No, we'll go you first, and then we'll go back.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Suzanne.
You're up, Janet.
Okay, so my question is about, I guess, the timing of something that you want. And I just had an experience where I'm going to a conference in Colorado, and I said, okay, I'm going to go skiing while I'm out there. But because of the location of the conference and the logistics of getting around and all this, it was getting so much effort. And it was like hurting my head. I just had to forget this is not meant to be. So I wanted to do that, but it's like better to do it another time. Is that right? Does that work that way?
Well, the headache is definitely an indication that it was too much effort. But the fun part is, as you let it go, like, okay, so you just let it go. Never mind, it's not going to work. Now what could happen because you've let it go and you're not trying hard? The universe can deliver you an aha moment when you get there. Someone will say, hey, did you want to go skiing? I'm going. I need a partner to go with. This is how beautiful it can work out. So you let it go. And you allow it to come in.
Yeah, please. We want to hear back how that worked
Yeah,
out.
we want to hear that. Well, next meeting, you come and tell us.
Well, it's a great point that you brought up. We tend to orchestrate. We tend to look at what is and say, okay, well, I'm going to be here. Skiing's going to be here. The line between the two of them is too far. It's linear thinking is what we do as human beings. And so therefore it can't happen. But the universe has access to every last door in the universe, right? There are doors between points that we can't see. There's no distance between any two doors. So our job is to get out of the way and stop trying to orchestrate it and be open to the guidance that tells us, as Suzanne said, what to do next. What's the next step to take? And we're open to that, then we get there. Drew?
Yeah, I actually didn't realize the testimonial part was over, so if I could just slip one in real quick.
Oh, sure.
And this is for you guys and for all the new people here, just so that, just so you know, my first visit here was, whatever the date was, in January. I'd never been here before. And the exercise that night was write down from today to the same date next year, pretend you're talking with your best friend and you've accomplished more than you could ever imagine, and you're going to detail to your best friend exactly how it happened, and you write it down, detailed month by month, day by day, week by week. However it happened, and nothing, I'm just making it quick, nothing can't happen.
Right.
So I did, it took me a couple of weeks, I think, to finally really kind of sit down and get that. Right after I did that, I got an email from Mind Valley Academy. Are you familiar with them?
Yeah, you bet.
And the book was, they were promoting, I can't remember the author's name now. You would know who it is. It's Unreasonable Wealth.
Okay.
Anyway, the exercise in that was sort of similar, but then who do you need to be every day to be that person you are a year from now?
Ah, nice.
And this is all just bing, 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 bing. It's all just hitting me all at once. So I took about 2 days to write that down, and I kept refiddling. But one of the things that I ended up writing down was I find it easy to attract like-minded people.
Oh.
This is the part of a list that,
Yeah.
and it is just, I'm finding like-minded people everywhere right now.
Got a room full of them here.
It's incredible.
Nice.
So please pay attention to what you're learning here tonight.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Drew.
Nice testimonial.
That was fantastic.
Yeah, well, you're living what we're talking about here.
That's why we do these little practices in hopes that, you'll walk away with some aha moment or just give it a try. You never know. The only reason we share all this stuff is because we've tried it for years. I mean, we started trying, practicing back in 2007, so it's been a journey.
Yeah, we learned a lot since then.
Yeah. We stopped trying. We just allow now.
Other questions or
Come on in.
comments? Other questions or comments before we jump into the main topic?
All right.
You got one here, Brendan?
Okay.
So I will say that about a month ago, I wrote down my list of items that I wanted to accomplish in my life, and one of them was to be a spokesperson for humanity. And today I just got accepted into Ubuntu as a leadership position in there to help unite the communities around the world.
Oh, Ubuntu, you said?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, good for you.
And I had no idea how it happened. I just kind of released that into the universe, and I was like, it's kind of far out there, but then I attracted somebody who talked about it, who got a leadership position there, who brought me in, and then it all just went from there. So.
Effortless, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice job. Give them a round of applause.
That's
Oh,
amazing.
that's exciting.
Love. That's just so great.
Spokesperson for humanity. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's sort of
Thanks
what you
for
all
sharing.
are in some respects, right? Nice. Good story. Anybody else before we move on?
Oh, okay.
One in the back.
This is my exercise for the day.
I'm wondering, with all these people who have these experiences with positive results, could you share maybe how you feel how you get there? I mean, you have to be in a positive place to get there. Do you do certain practices to keep yourself in that condition
Yeah,
to
good-
manifest
Good
what you
question.
want?
So you guys who've answered already here, do you want to share what you do? Brendan, you want to share? Jim?
Okay.
Obviously, like the beginning of the class today, meditation is extremely important. Literally, I got to a point to where I don't have too many random thoughts anymore after 5 years of meditating. That's a big key factor, is stopping your thoughts. Another tool that I like to personally use is candles. And I set my intentions in candles, I light them, and I forget about it and have what true definition of faith is knowing it's going to happen, not thinking about it. And it works. So those are my two biggest tools.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So knowing, yeah, faith
Thank you. That's
is up here
excellent.
is knowing right up there. Thought it makes sense it would work.
I like that idea of faith because I quit a 6-year engineering career to do what I love, and I just took the risk and just did it. And I was scared to death because I didn't have enough money, and I'm like, did I save up enough money? But it was when you put all that faith in the universe and you put everything you have towards a higher power, and you just trust with everything you've got, then that's when it happens.
Yeah. It's so simple, isn't it?
That is so it.
And all traditional religions have that as the foundation, is faith, right? Belief. We like to add that this is all mechanics. I mean, really, this is law of attraction is not a belief system. It's a law. It's just it's a mechanism of the universe. So you can put your faith in what really works and then test it out for yourself. But when you're making that bridge, we know. My career was 35 years in technology, and we just gave up the IT company a year and a half ago, and we're out here doing this. So we've had the same things, same. You go through that like, what am I doing? It's the trapeze moment, we like to call it, right? You left that one. That one's over there, and you're in the air, and there's nothing in between except your faith. You know enough that this stuff works. We're supported by the entire universe. We are energy beings at the core. We're just in physical form, and we have the support of the entire universe, and the laws are wired for our success. Doesn't get better than that. Just got to get in alignment with it. Thanks for sharing that, Brendan.
I just want to reiterate. Is that Jim up front here?
Yeah, Jim.
When you're saying that's the power of knowing and that meditation, I do it the same thing regularly every morning, meditating and in the evening. And I but I ended my career as a lawyer to write what the bliss that's in my heart, and to keep that going every day. So I set that intention in meditation of what I want. I call it ideal circumstances, and just keep it there.
Yeah. You just hold it's holding the
I love how
vibration.
the momentum is
Yeah, that's
building.
in fact, before we go on, there is a momentum factor we'll just touch on briefly. This is frequency. Okay, this is the vibration you're on in the moment by moment by moment, which you can change. And then there's momentum, which is how long you stay on that frequency. Okay? And momentum is everything, right? But they're both important, right? You can build a ton of momentum down here in fear and jealousy and anger and so forth. if you stay on there for a long period of time. The law of attraction just builds it up and builds it up. It does not stop. So that's what meditation is so good for, is that takes you up here, because when you're not thinking, you float up to the top, because the non-physical part of you is already up here at the top. So when you don't think, you float up to the top, and you stay there. It doesn't take long, really, 15 minutes, meditation. I meditate for an hour in the morning because I'm trying to get into a deeper practice, but 15 is really all you need. And that's plenty of time to build momentum for the entire day. Your whole day, the leverage will shift in the positive direction if you just build that momentum. Question? Comment?
Hi, my name is Richard. This is my first time coming here, but...
Yay!
Yay! But to address the question, in order for me to keep myself positive, I have the support group of a bunch of cool and emotionally powerful friends, and we open up and we're super vulnerable with each other. We keep all the negativities out by opening up, by being free, and that helps me keep myself in positivity.
Oh, that's a great way. Yeah, that's a great way.
Hanging with people who get it.
Yeah, and if you do that, be selective. I'm sure you didn't just go pick people off the street and say, "Come on to my group," right? You knew the vibration of them, right? So and you can create a mastermind. Masterminds is essentially what we're talking about. It's a way of carefully bringing people in who are at the same frequency and who will intentionally maintain that high frequency. And then you get the multiplier effect of vibration, and that's where it gets exponential. Thanks for that. Terry?
Well, that goes a lot what people said. One thing is just expect it, right? Mm-hmm. But I think that our imagination has so much to do with it, because if we can imagine it, we can feel it. And I know that that's what the law of attraction is. So many times if we're in a rut or in a cycle, there's a feeling we get that we don't like. And it seems like that gets our attention. So if we can switch on the imagination of what we really want, we get that feeling. And then it's important, I think, to look for the evidence. And that's, in the book, one of the exercises that I absolutely love, and it got me out of a really, really dark place, was taking 10 minutes a day and looking, really getting clear with what I wanted. And then taking 10 minutes out of a day and remembering the evidence that I saw that the universe is delivering. And because it gives us that feeling, and that feeling attracts more, and that's the vibe that we're getting. So holding on to that feeling of what we want is so powerful.
Well, that was a great lead-in. One of the two exercises we're going to do is looking for the evidence. So as usual, Terry, you're right in sync with where we're already heading. Nice job.
Good job.
That is, by the way, one of the coolest things. When we do workshops or meetup groups or any of this where we get the vibrational energy is starting to all gel, it's all on the same frequency, you start to read each other's minds, because you like to think that your thoughts are going on up here, but they're not. Your consciousness is vibration, it's energy. It doesn't have a location. It's associated with you. But you're attracting thoughts. You're a vibrational emanator, and law of attraction is bringing you ideas. It's bringing you the thought stream. It's bringing you imagination. You're setting the vibration. So Suzanne and I, we end each other's sentences often, even when we're watching TV or doing something. I will be just about to say something that she says, right? It's because we spend so much time on the same frequency, and when we pack or we go someplace or whatever, we're both in the same room and everything gets done. We're not telling each other what to do. It just all gets done because we're sort of in one mind, and that is really the nature of our being. We're not individuals. We're collective consciousness with individual intentions.
It wasn't always this way. I had 2 long, miserable marriages, verbally abusive alcoholic men. I had no idea I would eventually attract what I really, really wanted and deserved. And it was because I started loving me and respecting me first. And then it all comes to you. It's, you have to take a look at how you've been thinking and how you've been acting. And I did, and I certainly became accountable for how I attracted all of that when I look back and say, oh, yeah, that's what I was thinking. That's where I was. And, so that's how I was able to change my path in life and have this amazing life we have now.
It's one of the things that, particularly when you're new to the law of attraction, is to be aware of. You attract everything. There's nothing that's in your life in any moment in time that you did not attract. Nothing. Okay? Everything comes to us. And the first thing that we like to do is say, well, okay, that can't be because that person did that to me. Right? I had nothing to do with it. I didn't elect that president. It was not my doing at all. That's or whatever. But the thing is that when you can become accountable for what's in your life without judgment. Without self-judgment, you're now empowered to change it. Okay? Does that make sense, right? So you got to drop the self-judgments. Where you are is perfect in every single moment. There are no bad moments. They feel bad because you're maybe out of alignment, but what are you getting when you're not feeling good? You're getting clarity. Right? So there's 3 steps to the creation process. So step 1 is where you're in contrast or negative experiences. You're developing clarity in those moments. If you cannot beat yourself up for being there, for judging yourself, for not being where you think you should be, then now you have access to change. You have access to, well, what is it that I do want? And step 2 is the law of attraction is responding. It just responds to that clarity or that contrast. Step 3 is what we've been talking about today, which is to manage your thoughts so you get out of that negative and bring it up here to the positive. And at that point, then the clarity you got in step 1 can manifest. And now you're in a positive direction again. So don't beat yourself up for not being where you think you should be. You're always exactly where you should be to get the awareness that you need. There are no wrong paths. You're never off your path. It just sometimes feels that way. Does that make sense?
And you know,
take you off the hook for a lot of
your
stuff.
path as a human being is to be willing to experience it all, the up and down, the good and bad. But how you respond to that is the key. How you're going to think about it and look at it and not feel guilty and not get down on yourself or blaming anyone else. Just realize, oh, that's what I was thinking. Oh, yep, that's what I got. It's okay. It totally is okay.
It's just feedback. It's like your car indicator of the gas. You know, gas gauge is on empty. You don't get all depressed about it, right? You go to the gas station and you get filled back up. Right? It's just feedback. It's just like the mirror, right? You go, you look in the mirror. If the mirror's not smiling, guess what you're doing? You're not smiling, right? It's just reflecting it. It's just a reflection. The whole universe is a reflection. Everything that's in your life is a reflection. It's a mirror of what you've been vibrating. If you don't like it, change the vibration. Change the focus, change the thoughts. A lot of techniques to do this. It's not just one technique. Meditation, as Jim said, is really the best place to start. But this book, Asking and Given, one of 50, written by Esther Hicks and Jerry Hicks, this has 22 processes in it on how to change your vibration, how to move up the scale in different circumstances, money, relationships, health, and so forth. Asking it is given. This is worth getting. And like I said, again, if you go to the Billionaires Club website where you RSVP'd from or get one of those little red cards, just go to the Pages menu at the very top and click on the resources. There's books and YouTube stuff, all sorts of stuff is there.
Many of the things that have helped us prove it to ourselves, because you have to prove it to yourself. You know, it's just the way it works.
Yeah, that's another good point. Might as well touch on that. So everything we're telling you here today, we can't prove to you. Right? This isn't scientific from a third-dimensional reality standpoint. There's more beyond the third dimension. You can't measure consciousness. Can't measure a thought, a vibration. Can't measure an emotion. Right? So you got to close the loop yourself. Right? It's your job. So decide today that you're going to start caring more about how you feel. And as Terry said, it's about the feeling. And we're used to numbing our feelings a lot. That's why people drink. That's why they take drugs, is to numb those feelings which don't feel good, because they don't know that they're creating the feelings by the thoughts they're thinking. So change the thoughts. Your emotions will change. Pay attention to how they feel and change the thoughts until they feel better, and then hold that higher vibration until the manifestations change. And now you've closed the loop. Now you're the master of your life. Now you're attracting the things that you want.
One of the reasons we have that big green arrow, if you want to get a drink, going up the side, says relief on it. You know, Wayne Dyer was one of my favorite authors, and he said when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. So if you're looking at something in your surroundings and it's not feeling good, first of all, you have to acknowledge, that doesn't feel good. Don't pretend. Don't, like me, I used to eat a bag of cookies. Oh, I feel fine now. You know, whatever it was that you do to numb your emotions, that could be, it's good to start paying attention. And so when you realize that it's not feeling good and you're thinking about what you're thinking, what you want to do is just simply find some other words, change your perspective. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And so you end up picking words, you're going to pick them from your own mind that bring you a little relief. You know, just a little bit better. Well, you know, and there's all kinds of things. And if you struggle with this, there's help in many, many books. And we're here. You can talk to us or raise your hand and we'll help you. But that's how you definitely can move up that emotional scale. One little thought at a time. You can't jump from depression to joy if the frequencies are too far apart. There's not one thought that's going to bring you up that high. You incrementally think thoughts. You change the way you look at it until it feels, and then you'll see. You'll change your life, too.
That is another good point. If you're down here, which and most of you are not right now, but we all go down here, including me, you can't, on the same subject, you can't jump from here to here, okay? Because law of attraction is holding you here. Because you're down here because you've been thinking down here for a while.
You got strong momentum going. You're stuck there, so to speak.
Nobody just jumps to the bottom on a given subject. You've got momentum that eventually got you down that scale on a given subject. So you're not going to get back up because you got momentum in play. So you got to be easy about it. Distracting yourself, getting off the subject is good. You take a walk, you meditate, you do something to get yourself off the subject that's giving you a hard time. And then when you buoy up your vibration a bit, then you can come back to the subject and it'll be softer. You give a little bit more access, a little bit broader view. So just go up incrementally as much as you can. And we always say, if you're down here at the bottom on some subject that's really been bothering you a long time, anger is the next best step. Nobody outside of this room likes to hear that because they think, oh, we don't want angry people in the society. Well, guess what? We got a bunch of people down here. Okay, anger's better than depression and fear. It's just you don't do it around other people. That's all. You do it by yourself. You get off by yourself in your car, in your basement, wherever you can, and you just get as angry as hell as you can. Find something to hit. Find something to destroy if you can. Hit a pillow, slam a door. You got to get that anger out on the subject, whatever it is, and you just don't do it around other people. Right? So you hear that part. You don't do these things around other people when you're doing the vibrational work, but do it intentionally. Do be intentional about your emotions. And if you do that, then now you've got access. When you're up here, now you've jumped, and you have access now to the higher vibrations. Once you're in anger, you can actually move up to blame. Doesn't that sound great? And you can blame other people. Blame society for your ills. And when I go through this process, and I go through it pretty quick now, I don't stay down here long at all. I do get down here, but I don't stay down here. I get angry very quickly. I get explosively angry because I want that stuff out of my system quickly. When I detect that I'm up here finding somebody else to blame for why I'm down there, I know I'm on the path, and I have the awareness, okay, I'm getting out of it. And then, of course, it's not anybody else's fault. I'm the only one who can attract into my reality. That's the nature of law of attraction. Nobody can assert anything into your experience. You attract it. Everything is attracted. So, okay, I created the situation. Okay, I'll just do better next time. And now I've got awareness, and now I can very quickly then move back up to here again. Does that make sense? This is not conventional wisdom. Terry? Sure.
Okay, so I have this situation, and I love what you said as far as being around like minds. You know, it's such a validation, right? So it brings you into this higher frequency, and there's more freedom of expression or whatever. Okay, so there was a situation a while ago, and it was a dilemma. I was attracting people that just didn't seem to be grateful, that I couldn't do enough, right? And so I thought, well, something's got to change here, and it has. Well, yesterday, and so slowly but surely, there's one person, I would say it was a burnt bridge, and that we were, you know, in a dance, I guess.
Yeah.
And so there was a conversation just yesterday, and it brought everything back. Like this person just, if I want to give, it's like, you know, sucking every bit of it out and not, you know, there's no law of reciprocity. So when you were talking about the frequency, I could really go from low to high or high to low in a nanosecond, you know, depending on the interaction. So I want to understand that a little bit better.
Sure, that's a great question. So my guess is what you've done is we have multiple subjects, multiple topics around a given subject, because, you know, we're multifaceted beings, a lot of opinions, a lot of perspectives. So my guess is that there are other areas you've forgiven yourself or her, or you made peace, right? But there's still a trigger point that you haven't cleaned up yet. That's the one you want to address. So what's the feeling behind that? You said no reciprocity, no appreciation. How does that make you feel then, do you think?
Okay, I'll be back. No, that's all right.
Yeah.
If we're
Could help a
recording, we
lot of
want to
other
hear.
people. Yeah, sure.
So ask me that again.
So what's the emotion that comes up, do you think, when you think about that situation and how it triggered you? What do you think the emotion was you first felt?
this is like a one deal, their deal, right? Like they're driving me somewhere I don't really want to go. That's how I feel.
And what's the emotion, if you could just...
Oh, the emotion, I guess frustration.
Okay, so you're frustrated that something isn't going the direction you want it to go?
No, it just wasn't. It's kind of like, paying for a ticket somewhere, and they're taking you where they want to go, not where you paid to go. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it feels like. That we had a conversation. There was a deal. They didn't keep their end of the deal, and now it's switching. And I'm not switching that channel because I've been down that road before.
Okay.
Right. So I know where this direction is going, and it's like I'm going to do the work. Sort of thing. And
so it sounds like you've had the awareness already that could be a treacherous place to go.
Right.
If you kept going in that direction.
Right. And it was like almost a return visit.
A return what?
Visit. And it really did. It was like I was so at peace. It's so at peace, manifesting some really great things lately, and just and then I thought, well, the timing's good. There's been some distance, and appreciation was showing up, and here we go, right? So it was a trigger.
Tell me about the appreciation. What was your expectation about being appreciated?
Well, it was a mutual appreciation.
No, but it doesn't matter about her. What about you?
Okay. You mean...
you were maybe expecting to be appreciated?
Well, no, we had a conversation. Well, what do you think about this? That's a good deal. Well, it was a week later, and it was basically, I offered something that was going to impact a group of people that she was involved with. And she liked it. She really appreciated it. She was going to get an email out and get the people that wanted to be involved in it. Never went out.
And so it didn't go that way. She changed direction?
And expectation.
So she changed. Okay, so typically what happens, and I've had that happen myself, that was actually, I had a brain tumor in 2008, and that was the manifestation of that energy. An expectation of a certain behavior by somebody, not having enough guidance, not paying attention to the guidance that I had that said that's not actually going that direction. And then being kind of swayed by the what seemed like on the surface positive energy, and then that person went a different direction, and I'm like, wait, and everything fell apart, and like, what happened? This person, now I'm the victim, they took advantage of me. I'm not saying that's necessarily what happened with you, but it always starts with insensitivity, disconnection from emotional guidance. And that's what we're all working on here today, is getting back into it so that before you got into that situation, there were some rumblings that were saying, this is going to happen again, Terry. But we're used to pushing it down and just saying, oh, no, there's other evidence over here. I'm going to use my logical brain to say, oh, they look better, and I'm going to move in that direction, when still the gut is saying, you're going in a direction that's going to get bigger if you keep going in that direction. And this is why mine had to turn into all brain tumor, because I was so insensitive to how I was feeling. I didn't get all the signals all along the way that says, you're not feeling good, you're not feeling good, you're not feeling good, don't keep going in that direction. But I did, because I didn't know any better at the time. I didn't know anything about any of this stuff. And it had to get that big before it got my attention. So it's the clarity from the contrast that I got. So it's about then becoming more sensitized to, and you were doing great there. You're saying, this is starting to go better. Before you get into the situation with this person or anyone else, again, take the extra time to meditate, take the extra time to feel into it. You said it beautifully earlier. I'm feeling into it, and feeling into the situation. And see if there are little indicators that you didn't see before. So we're really getting hypersensitive to your emotions. Really getting hypersensitive. What are they telling you? And that's what we're going to get into here in just a second, about the non-physical guidance. But that's a great lead-in, actually. Does that sort of make sense, like at least as a starting point premise?
In this situation, not necessarily, because it was just 1 week, and then the follow-up call was as if it was a different deal, different person.
But my point is that you were getting emotional guidance leading up to that phone call.
Well, I was definitely skeptical, Well, because of the past,
Well, I don't want you to care about what happened in the past. I want you
get
to
it.
care about what the guidance is
I
right
get
now.
it. Yeah, I definitely had my radar. I get
Right.
it.
So we're used to, the linear projection of, well, this happened, the logical brain. And the logical
Yes, she
brain
says.
always talks us right out of our emotions because it's our belief system. It's the way we were brought up. This is the box you live in. This is the rules of society. This is how you behave, and a bunch of that stuff is not good for us.
And I
One more
really,
thing. One more thing.
So basically, there was no dance. I didn't dance with it, is what I see.
It's a dance with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, that was a great conversation.
you had a dance. It was a few little side steps because you did feel skeptical, but you kind of ignored that because you really wanted to help this group of people from your heart. And the skeptical thing was there, but you didn't feel it in the dance step. And so you went ahead out of your love to want to help people, and then like attracts like.
So the important
job.
thing about that, and again, this is the step one moment we call it. This is where we had an experience. Well,
Yeah.
shoot, that didn't work out the way I wanted it to. Okay, what happens in step one? Clarity, right? You're now clearer than you were before, right?
Yeah. Okay, Dave.
Comment, and then we're going to get on to the
Okay,
subject.
one
here,
last
right
comment
after
here.
this. Yeah.
I'll try to make this quick, but as you guys were talking, I kind of had a little light bulb go off about my own journey, and I've spent a lot of time in the lower range for a while, and I try to project to everyone around me and to myself, I want to be at the higher place, so I'm always focusing on trying to be positive and put this out there. And I'm recognizing, as you guys are talking, that I have denied myself feeling all the middle stuff. I've no, I don't want to be jealous. I'm not going to be a jealous person. No, I don't want to be angry. No, I don't want to doubt. No, I'm not going to worry. I'm going to ignore that. And I just realized that I've been just totally numb because I'm actually not even looking at it. No, I'm not jealous. I'm not angry. I'm not doubting. I'm not worrying. I'm good. I'm up there.
That's right.
Why the fuck do I feel like I'm down here? And so
Yeah.
I might have to step outside and just go yell for a little bit. But
All right. Well, we'll know what's going on, man.
so if you guys hear something, I'll be outside for
And the pig's good. Okay, go for it. Yay!
Oh man, that was so
excellent.
good. That was so good. You get how good that was, right?
Yeah.
He retuned to his emotions, right?
Yeah.
He's now going to care because when you say I don't care, I'm going to be happy for myself and others. As soon as you introduce others, you're not happy for yourself, right? Because you can't make other people happy consistently because that's their journey, not yours. Because they control their thoughts. God, that was the best thing I've
That was
ever experienced.
excellent. And when Kevin and I came together, we were both used to numbing our emotions and not letting ourselves feel angry. We just tolerated a bunch of misery. And so the first time we had some misunderstanding, and we knew this stuff, and I'm thinking, oh no, what am I going to do? I knew I needed to get angry. He knew we needed to separate because he needed to get angry in his own way. And as soon as he got out in the car and did his thing, I slammed the door so hard. I've never slammed a door that hard. It felt so good. I mean, because I was alone. He had gone out the car to do whatever he was going to do. And then we had this huge awareness, it's good. It's good to go ahead and let out your energy, acknowledge it, embrace it, slam the door, whatever you need to do, and move up the scale, because it all worked out in the end, but we hadn't, had an experience as a couple that was early on in our relationship.
It's really helpful to separate. That's, again, Dave did beautiful there. By leaving, you get out, and it's not that there's negative energy in here, but when you're in, particularly with another person, you're in a negative energy field with them, it's multiplying. Law of attraction is going crazy, building the momentum. So get away from people. Get away from influences when that's happening. Question, comment.
So I found Abraham about 3 months ago.
All right.
Somehow I was on YouTube. Yes, so every night I listen to video after video. When I wake up in the morning, I do it again, and I heard Abraham say, contrast is good, because contrast will teach you what you don't want, right?
Yeah.
So I ended a 6-year relationship because it wasn't what I wanted, and I hate my job. So I'm trying to find another job, but it's hard to be up high right now because I'm just figuring out The new is coming. It's coming, and I try to keep myself. It's coming. Don't I say to you, "Oh God, I'm going to meet him. I'm going to meet him." But that's the hard part for me. So I did dissect. This is all contrast, and I don't like it. But it's hard to feel.
So change that
good.
story a little bit. It has been hard in the past, right?
Yes.
Right, and it's getting better. You attracted a room full of positive energy people, just like that,
Yes.
without effort. Yeah, and you're having a conversation with us, and maybe we can get some clarity there. You're on a path that's obviously good for you because you can feel it, right? So maybe be a little easier about it, and know that you're not getting it wrong by being down at the bottom.
Right. The contrast.
Yeah, you're doing okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that you just happened to find Abraham on YouTube. But what you can do, if you're new to Abraham and you haven't gone onto YouTube, it's Abraham Hicks. And what you can do then is this, whatever topic it is you want, a new job or bipolar, whatever it is that you are dealing with that you don't know how to handle it in a better thought process, you can just put Abraham Hicks in the subject. And there's all of these interactions between Esther, who's channeling Abraham, and all the people.
I didn't understand. I'm like, okay, Abraham, but you was Esther.
Yeah.
And then I went on like Oprah.
Yeah.
And that's where I found out, Esther
Is channeling. Yeah. Esther actually translates blocks of energy, thought energy, and she translated it into English because she gets in such a high-frequency meditative state, one with the universe, that she can receive these blocks of energy thought. Someone will ask a question, Source is answering the question. She just translated. She doesn't even remember what she said. She goes back and listens to the recording to hear what she said. She's just a translator. Well, you know, when somebody's actually translating another language, they're translating so fast they don't necessarily get the gist of the whole paragraph. They're just translating really quickly, and this is kind of the same thing, only it's infinite intelligence.
And that's a perfect lead-in to the topic, right? Non-physical consciousness.
Yeah, we don't want you to go without some little tidbit of exercise here.
So, you guys heard of non-physical before? Who's heard of non-physical? And those who follow Abraham have undoubtedly heard.
Okay, yay.
All right. Anybody?
If you're new though and you haven't heard that, that's okay.
Well, that's where we're going here. Anybody want to take a stab at describing your understanding of it? Jim, what about you? Anybody? What's non-physical mean to you? Because it's different for different people. There isn't a right answer. Janet
Looks like Leonard's ready.
or Leonard?
Oh, I just volunteered.
Go for it, man. Go for it.
Non-physical is what we don't see, invisible, but it's all around us. There's this energy that's constantly bombarding us and constantly, what I'm now realizing through meditation, it's in this powerful muscle that's right here.
Yeah.
And it's by a lot of people, it's told as, or said to be our soul, and it is really in control of the body and the mind. And of course, this power, this one power, is the ultimate power. So this stuff I just call it stuff, right? For lack of, because this really is devoid of characteristics. So how can you describe something that's devoid of characteristics?
That's a great lead into it. It's a great lead in. So
this stuff that's working for us with our thoughts, when they're clear. So meditation helps to clear it. Feeling helps to really clear it. And then manifestation occurs. That stuff reflects what we're feeling and what the mind is clear, saying, this is what I want. I mean, we may not be saying that, but that's what the feeling is saying to the universe. And
nice.
It started working. It manifests.
Can you tell he's a writer?
Oh, good.
Beautifully
Momentum's
said.
building.
I would add on to that and say that the non-physical stuff Leonard refers to is the thing that creates the stuff. So the energy of the non-physical is what creates the physical.
There you go. Nicely said. Nicely
How old
said.
are you? You're way ahead of the game.
I just want to clarify. A lot of people say it's something that you can't see. However, I know several people that can see.
Really? Oh,
I will personally let you know that the stuff spins around. Everything's in motion. It spins around. There's unfortunately, it was a journey. But But you can see the energy, and all living things have it. The trees, people. I don't know about the color system that they talk about. I don't see the colors. I just see the clear or white or dark energy.
So you actually do see the auric field.
Yeah, actually, your right shoulder had a little bit of black on it, so either your right shoulder hurts or you have an attachment or whatever. But yeah, so there's many people that can see it. It does make it easier to believe, but you wouldn't be able to believe me unless you can see it yourself. That's one thing, but it's as above, so below. So there's always more going on than just what we're doing down here. And I don't know a lot about Abraham Hicks. I don't follow her. But I can tell you that most of the teachings or the channeling, most of the teachings can be summed up in what's called Hermetic philosophy. And there's actually 7 principles to the universe. And law of attraction, it just happens to be one of them. So anyways,
nice.
Just my tidbit.
So great
Thank you, Jim.
descriptions here. So you don't have to know necessarily details. There's so much information, and I love that you guys are students of this. And we recommend that you become a student and search out the information that resonates with you. You'll find it, right? Law of attraction will bring it to you, right? That'll help you understand it the way you need to understand it. We understand non-physical as simply being, as I think, Jim, you said, is that which is not physical, or I think Brendan was talking about being the flow. If you can step back, the universe is energy, right? It's this big nebulous word that doesn't really mean anything to us in bodies. And we created, from the non-physical consciousness perspective, the physical perspective. This physicality, and quantum mechanics backs this up now. And they discovered many, many years ago that experimentally, that when you start dealing with the smallest particles in our universe, electrons, protons, neutrons, and so forth, that those are just waves of energy that have collapsed into points, or energy fields. Everything that looks physical, this thing here, everything that looks physical, your body, the air, is actually collapsed waves of energy, waves of non-physical energy. And that collapsing occurs when consciousness interacts with it. This has experimentally been proven, and now it's the basis of quantum mechanics, the understanding that an electron doesn't necessarily have to show up any place until it's observed by consciousness. And then the wave that's everywhere at once collapses into the point and becomes physicality. Dave, you got a question, comment?
Glad to see you back.
Glad to be back. Okay. The car's good. This is something that I've always wondered when I've heard people talking about that it's the consciousness that defines reality. Mm-hmm. How do they determine that the opposite? Like if they said if consciousness by conscious attention is what collapses the wave form?
Yeah.
How could they determine that would be any other way? Because if they're even thinking about it, that's conscious attention to it.
Well, think about it like this. You ever see the movie The Matrix?
Yeah.
Yeah, so there is no objective reality out there. There's only the reality you're creating within your own awareness.
Okay.
We're playing in parallel experiences here, but there's no objective reality outside of consciousness. So you're creating this matrix within your own consciousness.
All right. It's still
amazing, isn't it?
It's not like completely satisfactory to me, just because the idea that someone could say it's only formed by the conscious attention. Mm-hmm. How could we know anything other than that?
Yeah, right. How could you? Can't measure it.
Anyways.
Yeah, okay, I don't want to get too far off into the science part of this, guys, because we're going to run out of time. We got about 20 minutes left, and I'd like to get to the main subject here. Okay. Yeah. In fact, please carry the conversation on afterwards. We can talk all night.
After 8 o'clock, we can go deeper.
Yeah. So
it's 22.
The sort of the overarching principle is that you are a non-physical conscious being first and foremost. Before you came into a body, you were consciousness. You are energy being that's been here since the beginning of time. You've been through thousands, maybe tens of thousands of bodies. You're flowing into the bodies right now. 99% of who you are isn't even in the body right now. It's to the degree to which you allow it in. And how do you allow it in? You get into alignment. That's what alignment is. When you're feeling good, it's because the source energy part of you is flowing into you. That's where your creativity comes from. That's where your imagination comes from. It's not brain cells doing mathematical work up here. Your brain is not even a calculator. It's not a storage cabinet. It's a transmitting and receiving device for consciousness. Okay? So your non-physical consciousness is who you really are, and when your body ends, you'll take everything all the contrasts that created clarities, and that'll go with you to the next experience.
Not the contrast, all the good stuff.
Yeah, that came out of the contrast, right?
Your clarity, you take that with you, and it's amazing.
Because the non-physical, you are non-physical first and foremost. You're flowing into these bodies to the degree to which you allow it or not. But that's your choice. We recommend you allow a lot of it because it feels fantastic and you get incredible creativity, and law of attraction then kicks in and starts manifesting things after the fact. But you feel good first. That's what non-physical, that's what that means to me, non-physicality. And of course there's layers of non-physical on top of non-physical on top till you get to the sort of the one, what traditional calls God, but there's no hierarchy in the system. There's only levels of dimensions. You are God. You are the creator of your reality, and nobody can take that away from you. You just have to prove it to yourselves. There is nothing dangerous in this world. There's nothing to be afraid of. You can create any reality you want. But you got to get into the state where you prove this. You got to get up here long enough to where the energy is flowing, you're feeling good long enough, and then the manifestations start to show up, and all the negative people and experiences then start to flow back out. Because law of attraction says with a relationship or anything else, if you're doing this, the people around you have to do this too, or they have to do that. So you manage all your relationships by managing yourself. Nobody can be in your experience that you didn't attract. It's not a mirror of who you're being. It's really so simple on the surface, but it goes against everything we were taught as kids in school and in religion and politics, God forbid. Politics is so out of alignment. All politics is down here, by the way. There's no politics that's up here, not the definition of politics. Because politics says majority rules. There's power in numbers. That doesn't exist. There is no power in numbers. The only reason that there power in numbers appears to be that way is because we believe it. We get confidence when there's other people around us, and we move up the scale, and then we create a powerful reality for ourselves. You are a God in physical form, and you can create the reality that you want. You just got to step into that and own it. And share it with all the other gods in the room here.
So how do you tap into your... What was the subject again tonight?
I have no idea. What are we talking about?
Where are we?
So
we're going to do an exercise.
We wanted to get into the importance of the non-physical because this guidance system is so incredible. Is that my... Oh, it's my... There. Sorry about that. I thought I turned both of them off. Why is this important? Because everything you want is your guidance is flowing from that non-physical perspective. Why is that important? Or how can you believe that? Well, non-physical doesn't have a location. It's not physical. Right? Physical is third dimensional. Forward, back, left, right, up, down is the third dimensional concept. Non-physical does not have a location. It's everywhere at once. It is omnipresent. And so all you got to do is open up to the guidance that's already there. Remember, it's part of you. Non-physical is in this context, is your own consciousness. So it wants what's best for you because it is you. Right? So it's always going to guide you towards what's best for you if you just listen to it. So opening up to that non-physical consciousness gives you that guidance that takes you to what you want. So as we talked about, getting up here is the important part of it. We've got a little exercise. Actually, I got two of them that'll help you to practice this and to get a little bit more in touch so that you can start really manifesting the things that you want in your life. Okay? And then we can wrap up with whatever Q&A that we have time left for here. So one of the things that I like to do is a shift in focus. Because we were talking about being in your head. I get in my head a lot. And there's nothing wrong with the logical brain, the physical brain, because we need to logically work things through and physically work things out sometimes. But we think things through way too much. We do way too much thinking. Right? We got a guidance system. Who was it that said about the solar plexus? I think you said, or somebody said, right? Yeah, Leonard. Okay, the heart space, right? What we call the heart space, or the heart, or the gut. It's actually the solar plexus is the actual organ. Solar plexus is a cluster of nerves, a plexus of nerves. It's behind the heart and stomach area. That's why we feel it in our gut when you get that gut level impulse that says to go to do something, right? It's not the gut, it's the solar plexus. That is the receiving antenna for this guidance system that we get. And when you get that pit in your stomach, it's the same reason. You get a pit in your stomach because you're thinking things way out of alignment with what your guidance is telling you to do. It's saying, go this direction, go this direction. But if you're going off that direction, thinking yourself, moving yourself in that direction, you're going to have a separation, and you feel it in your guidance system. That's what the solar plexus is there for. And that's also when you have a feeling in your heart for somebody. It's not your heart. Sorry to disappoint you. It's your solar plexus. Same feeling, same sensor system. We call it the heart center because it's kind of in this general area. So what we want to do is learn to catch when we're in our head. And when we're in our head and we're thinking things through and trying to figure stuff out based on the past and experience and all that stuff, that's a linear progression, right? You look at the past, well, it worked out that way, so then I got to keep going in this direction to make it work out again. Right, well, that's such a limited perspective. We have just a little experience doing this, and we're going to say it's going to work out and we go in that direction. But we've got guidance that says, but there's a path over here that you could take. You can go down this path, you can go down that path, and be much, much faster. That experience didn't work out, but that guidance only comes in through here. It doesn't come in through the head. So we want to get out of the head much of the time. When you're thinking things through and you're getting a headache, which I have done many times, that's when you know you're trying to think it through logically based on the facts, the limited facts you got around you, and then instead you want to move it down into the heart center and start feeling for the answer down here. So I got a really simple exercise for you guys to try right now if you're interested in doing it. What we're going to do is move our focus intentionally. So just take a second, kind of relax into your seat here. Come aware of the thoughts that you might be thinking. Maybe you're not thinking any right now. But if you imagine in your head, feel the thoughts up there. Take a breath and kind of visualize your consciousness. I like to think of a golden orb of light of consciousness, but whatever visual works for you. And as you breathe it out, picture it going down your spine and into your heart center. Just figure that slowly flowing down into your heart center. Right around above your belly button or so. And just kind of feel it right there. Feel that awareness there and kind of tune into that awareness. And then feel it start to radiate throughout your whole body. See if you can make your body a whole antenna, top to bottom. Start to feel that guidance start to come in. See if you can feel what it's trying to tell you. See if you can get any messages right now there. Kind of listening. You may not, or you might be. And just dwell there long enough to really feel that energy. And that simple practice is something you can do as many times during the day as you want. When you detect that you're in your head too much, just move it down, move it down. Anybody getting any indications, any signals, any messages, any feelings? Well, what feels different when you move down into the heart center? Anybody getting anything? Anybody falling asleep? I can tell you guys are enjoying this. Most of you are still there. What are you feeling? Did you get anything?
Dave has a comment.
You felt a little tingly? Okay. Yeah. What else? Another comment?
Just that everything is going to be okay.
There you go.
Nice.
Yeah. Because everything is going to be okay. You're eternal, right? And you just tuned in. You just got up here and tuned into the message. You heard the message, right? That's how you can. That's where the guidance is. I've got coaching clients. One guy I talked to today who he's done phenomenally well just by trusting how he feels more than logically what the company tells him to do. And his team is going great guns, and he's moving into a new office just because he's doing basically what we just talked about here. He trusts this, he gets in tune with it, and trusts this, and acts on this more than this, or more than what other people are saying. And then what has to happen? The law of attraction has to rearrange things around him to match that. So you might feel like you're pushing against the current if other people are telling you what to do. You will for a little while. But if you stay up here, then the whole universe rearranges itself. You'll change a job, you'll change a boss. Things will just happen all around you, just magically, automatically. That's how powerful you guys are, just by trusting this guidance system. Any questions or comments on that part before we do the second part? That's pretty straightforward, right? You're just tuning. Remember, you're like a radio station, radio dial. Right? All the stations, good information is up at the top of the one end of the radio dial. Right? And you can change where you are on the dial. You're just changing the frequency. Just change your tuner. Just move the tuner up here to the top. And then you get the guidance. Second exercise that I like, and we've actually created a sort of abundance journal, is a reminder journal of when it did work for you. Like, when did this happen? When did this work for you? So, because we forget, we get into our heads and stuff's not working, and then we get all bunched up, and we forget, oh yeah, yesterday that worked out for me because I did this exercise. That worked out for me. So this is all about amplifying the things that you want so that then you attract the experiences. So what we like to do then, the second exercise would be to look back in your recent memory. And you can write this down if you want to write it down. It's up to you. And think about the times when you've acted from that impulse or gut level feeling. We were talking about that earlier near the beginning, and something came to you. We had a couple stories where that happened.
Yeah, thank you.
You just set an attention, right? Let it go, and then that thing came to you. Start a journal. We call it a touchstone list. Touchstone in the old days was a piece of soft rock that they would use to scrape against a piece of gold or silver. And depending on the color, you could tell if it was pure gold or not, because they couldn't tell. And you could debase the currency by mixing in a different metal, and then it would reduce the amount of gold in it. When you did that touchstone, you could tell the quality. So what we're doing with the touchstone list is creating basically a touchstone of successes, things that have worked for you in terms of recognizing when you got that guidance, when you set the intention, got that gut level feeling, acted on it, and the thing worked out for you. You want to prove this power to yourself. You just keep doing this over and over again, and you're going to be walking through your day up here. There's no need to go down here very often, really. 10%, that's good enough. Don't need to go down there. Stay up here. I have days now where I will, if I do the vibrational work, I do the meditation and so forth, and I catch before I start to slip off the slope, because some things can trigger me, then my day can be just literally floating on the surface. I'm literally not in my head anymore. I'm just going through feeling like, what's the next thing? I'll go do this. Oh, that's great. That worked out. I'm going to go do this. Oh, great. That worked out. Oh, somebody just called me. That worked out. Right? No thinking, just the joy of the experience. So record those things, and then when you're not having a good day, read the list. Or read the list every day, whatever you can do to feel good. Remind yourself of how powerful you are and how easy this stuff is. Does that make sense? Any questions on the touchstone list? What it is, why you want to use it? They're all just little tools to keep plugging into place how powerful you are and the proof to yourself of what's possible. We covered a lot of stuff today here. You guys really went deep. You, by the way, pulled this out of us. Right? We're the attraction that you guys set forth to have. We call this being cooperative components. We're always co-creating. When you have an intention, whether you were aware of it or not in your mind, when you have an intention and you let go of the need to have the result come in a specific way, you show up here, it's got to come some way to you. Right? So the words that are coming out of our mouths are in response to what you're attracting. Right? We're just the conduit, which we love because we get to channel source energy here as we're doing this. I have no idea what I'm talking about here. I'm just the mouthpiece, right? I couldn't tell you what I said in the last hour because I'm not listening. I'm channeling the information you guys are pulling through. So there is a manifestation for you. You can put this as the first one on your list. You set your intention to get something from this meeting, and it came through. How's that sound?
Another way to recognize if you're tapping into your own inner being, source energy, whatever you want to call it, it's always calm and quiet and peaceful. It doesn't ever yell at you. So if you're getting a thought that's coming to you and you're not familiar with recognizing if it's source or guidance, pay attention again to the demeanor of that thought. How does it feel? If it's calm and peaceful, it's guiding you to a good, a direction that you want. And I'll just give you a little example. A few years ago, I was decorating the Christmas tree. I had slippers on, and I was in a big hurry because I wanted to get up on a conference call. And I had to do a few more things at the top of the tree. So I got a step stool out, got ready to step on it, and quietly in my mind, I heard myself say, "Take your slippers off." And I thought, I'm in a hurry. I don't have time to take slippers off. I got to get on this call. I got up on a stool. It fell over. The tree came over. If I just listened, and nobody got hurt. I mean, nothing broke. But the guidance was there. It was peaceful. It was calm. And I argued with it. No, I'm in a hurry. I want to get on. So you can start recognizing these things when you make the decision. If it doesn't work out, you go, okay, that's what it sounds like when I'm getting guidance. That's what it feels like. That's how I learned. Now I really trust it all the time. Many times when we can't find something, I'll say, you know what, my guidance is saying this, and then we'll go find it. Or something, this is what we need to do. So it's a lot of fun just practicing it and not beat yourself up if it doesn't work out. This is how you learn to hear your own inner voice and the guidance from infinite intelligence.
There's so much we could talk about on this subject, as you can tell. We're just scratching the surface of your guidance system. So we hope you guys will take some of this home and play around with it and see what kind of power you can create within yourself. See what kind of experiences you can have just by letting go and trusting that guidance is always there. So what have we learned today? Non-physical is always with us. It's always available. All you got to do is relax, get still, and listen for the voice. Feel it here. It's always there. Always, always, always. Never sleeps. Keeping track of what we received through a touchstone list can be helpful. Again, remind yourself of how good you are, how successful you are, how worthy you are to have everything that you want. But you got to prove it to yourself.
I started doing this on my phone. I have a little note section, and when I have something cool happen, whether it was small or not, I'd stop. I'd remember to put that in my phone. Oh, this is what happened today. And it's so fun to just see how this builds up if you just quickly, and I just talk into the phone. I don't have time to type. So you can do a touchstone list or a good memory list of things that have manifested for you, and it just helps you keep that energy going in the direction of more, please, more, please.
So we're going to wrap up here. We got about 2 minutes left. From maybe one person or two people, real quickly in a sentence or two, what are you going to do differently after having been here from what you've learned here? What are you going to do differently? Anybody? Or you're all just going to keep doing what you've been doing?
As opposed to feeling just kind of numb and allowing myself to just sink into depression and despair in that area, I'm actually going to get angry, and I'll take it out, and I'll find a healthy way of getting it out and work my way up instead of just wanting to be up there.
Yay, that's the best news I've heard all day. Nice job, Dave.
Going to stop way too much thinking and concentrate more on the solar plexus.
Ah, yes. Nice job. Thank you, Elaine.
Any other?
Maybe one more.
Okay.
Yeah, and we've got to wrap up.
Meet more like-minded people.
Well, I think that's inevitable for you now.
Fun.
Nice job. Excellent, guys. Just remember that, as we talked about earlier, it does take some faith that there's a mechanism here in play that is always supporting you. So you got to kind of hold the faith out there until you prove it, right? And that's what it always takes when you're starting a new practice. Then practice it. Promise yourself you're going to do this 21 days, 30 days, 100 days. Just promise yourself you're going to try it out and see if it works for you.
When you practice, you build momentum, which makes it more powerful, which attracts back to you more often, and then you start having that faith.
And then have patience with yourself. You can't get it wrong. If something doesn't go well, be kind to yourself. Forgive yourself. Because no sense in holding your own head under the water, right? That's kind of silly. Just let it go. And you'll find that this stuff turns around very quickly. All right, so remember there's open networking after the meeting. You guys hang out as long as you can until we kick you out. Have some cookies. The audio recording will be up on the YouTube channel in a few days, probably next week sometime. So if you need more information on that, let us know. Next meetup, remember we got the spring party and potluck on the 25th, a week from Saturday. So if you want to come and join us.
More good discussions.
Okay. If you want to come and join us, please do. We would love to see you guys. We have the best time at these parties. And then the next meeting in April will be on the 20th of April. Again, it's up on the website. We don't have a subject yet. If you guys ever want us to talk about something, let us know. Shoot us a message, because April, May, and June, we don't have subjects for. And so if you guys don't come up with something, we'll pick it. Okay? So
And
thanks
help
again
your-
for coming out tonight. We really appreciate your wonderful energy, and have a great month, everybody. Thanks so much.
Yes, thank you.
Nice job.